The night was silent. The stars were cold and endless. A broken ship lay half buried in the sand of a strange world. Smoke rose from the wreck, curling into the dark sky. Inside the wreck, a man slowly opened his eyes. His name was Daniel, a human astronaut. His head hurt, his body was weak, and his heart raced as he tried to remember what had happened. He had been on a mission. A simple survey of a new planet. Then light, fire, and impact. His ship had fallen from the sky like a dying star. He had survived, but he was alone. Or at least he thought he was. Daniel pushed himself out of the wreck. His legs shook as he stepped onto the sand. The air was heavy, warm, but breathable. He looked around. Strange tall trees bent in the wind, their leaves glowing faint green. The land looked empty, yet Daniel felt eyes watching him. Then he heard it. A voice. Not human. Not machine. A soft cry carried through the air. Help! Please help me. Daniel froze. His blood ran cold. Who was calling him? He turned slowly, scanning the shadows. His training told him to be careful. Yet the voice was desperate, almost broken. He followed the sound. Each step made his heart pound harder. The trees opened to a small clearing. In the middle, sitting on the ground, was a figure. At first, Daniel thought it was a nightmare. The figure was tall, thin, and alien. Her skin shimmered like silver under the moonlight. She had no arms. Her shoulders ended in smooth curves, empty, helpless. Across her chest was strapped a small cocoon-like cradle. Inside, a baby moved, making tiny, soft sounds. Daniel stopped. His breath caught. The alien raised her head. Her eyes were large, glowing blue, filled with tears. And then, she spoke again, this time looking straight at him. I have no arms. Human, help me. I can't care. For my daughter. Daniel's heart jumped. She was speaking his language. Not perfect, but clear enough. His mind spun with questions. How did she know English? Who was she? Why call him? Then came the words that froze him where he stood. Be my husband. The clearing grew colder. Silence pressed in from all sides. Daniel felt as if the whole planet had stopped breathing. He tried to speak, but only air came out. What did you say? The alien mother lowered her eyes, her body trembling. The baby made a soft cry, and she rocked gently, even without arms. Her voice was soft, but filled with pain. I have no arms. Predators hunt us. My child will die. Human. Only you strong. Be my husband. Protect her. Daniel's heart pounded like a drum. He wanted to run. This was insane. He had just crashed on this planet. He didn't even know if his radio worked or if rescue would come. And now an alien, strange and broken, was asking him to become her mate. But then he saw her eyes again. They were not the eyes of a monster. They were the eyes of a mother. A mother ready to beg a stranger for her child's life. Daniel looked at the baby. Tiny, fragile, wrapped in soft, glowing cloth. The baby's small chest rose and fell. She opened her glowing blue eyes and looked at him with innocent trust. Something shifted in Daniel's heart. Still, fear fought inside him. Why me? He asked. Why call me your husband? The alien lifted her head. Her voice cracked. Because you are human. You are strong. My people gone. I am last. My daughter needs protector. In my world, husband is protector. You are all I have. The wind blew through the glowing trees. The sand whispered around Daniel's boots. He felt the weight of the moment. A survivor's instinct told him to walk away, to find food, water, shelter, to think only of himself. But his heart told him something else. Before he could answer, the trees behind him shook. A low growl echoed from the shadows. Daniel spun around. Two glowing red eyes appeared between the trunks. Then another pair, then more. Shapes moved, crawling closer. The alien mother's voice broke with terror. They come. They smell me. They want my child. The baby began to cry louder, sensing the danger. The sound carried through the night. Daniel's hands tightened. He had nothing but broken tools from his wreck. No gun, no armor, only his courage. The growls grew louder. The shadows moved closer, sharper. Daniel could see claws glinting in the dark. Predators. Real, living nightmares. The alien mother looked at him with desperate eyes. Please. Husband, protect us. Daniel's mind raced. He could run and maybe live. Or he could fight, risk death and save them. His heart made the choice before his head could stop it. He stepped forward, grabbed a sharp piece of metal from the wreckage, and stood between the mother, her baby, and the approaching beasts. His voice was low but firm. "I'm here. I'll protect you," the predators howled. The night exploded with sound, and so it began. The night burned with sound. The predators circled the clearing, their eyes red and cruel. Daniel gripped the sharp piece of metal tighter. His palms were sweating, his chest heavy, but he stood firm. He would not let them touch the alien mother or her child. The beasts growled, waiting for a chance to strike. Their bodies were lean, black, and covered in ridged scales. Their claws scraped the sand, making sparks in the dark. They smelled of death. Daniel shouted, his voice breaking the night. "Stay back!" The creatures paused, not out of fear, but out of curiosity. A lone human standing against the pack. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then, as if one mind controlled them, the predators lunged forward. Daniel swung the metal shard. Sparks flew as it struck the first beast's jaw. The predator shrieked and fell back, but two others rushed in. He kicked hard, driving one into a tree. His chest burned, his muscles screamed, but he refused to fall. The alien mother cried out, her voice filled with terror and hope. "Human! Protect her!" Her baby's wail pierced the air, a sound so pure it almost cut through the predator's rage. Daniel swung again and again, his arms heavy, his breath short. One beast fell, bleeding in the sand. The others backed away, their red eyes narrowing. They had not expected resistance. The pack hissed, then slipped back into the shadows. Their growls echoed as they vanished into the trees, but Daniel knew they were not gone. They were waiting, watching. Silence returned, broken only by the alien baby's soft cries. Daniel dropped to one knee, gasping for air. His hand shook, blood dripping from a cut across his arm. He looked back at the alien mother. She sat trembling, her glowing eyes wide, her body weak. For the first time, Daniel saw how fragile she was. No arms, no weapons. Only a baby depending on her. She was alive but helpless. She whispered, voice breaking, "You fight for us. You are strong. Human, please, don't leave." Daniel wiped the sweat from his face. He felt the weight of her words. He wanted to argue, to say he was not her protector, not her husband. But then he looked at the baby again. The child's small eyes blinked up at him with a quiet trust, as if she already believed he was part of her family. Daniel sat down slowly, his voice low and rough. "I don't understand you. Why me? Why call me your husband?" The alien mother lifted her head. She spoke carefully, each word heavy with meaning. "In my people, husband is not just mate. Husband is guardian. Husband is shield. He stands even when world falls." Her voice shook, but her eyes held his. "I have no arms. I cannot feed her. I cannot fight. Alone she will die. But with you," she paused, her voice a whisper, "with you she will live." Daniel felt his throat tighten. He had lost crew, friends, his ship. He had nothing left. Yet here on this strange world, a broken mother begged him for the one thing he could give: protection. He shook his head. "I'm just a man. I don't know your ways. I don't even know if I'll survive here." But the alien mother pressed on, her words sharp with desperation. "You stood between us and death. That is enough. That is husband." Her daughter stirred, reaching tiny fingers out of the cocoon, brushing the air. Daniel's chest ached as he watched. The innocence of that touch broke something deep inside him. He wanted to resist. He wanted to stay alone. But part of him knew he could never turn his back now. The alien mother bowed her head, tears falling like silver drops onto the sand. Her voice trembled. "Please, human, I beg you, be my husband. Protect my daughter. She is all I have." The night grew still again. Even the wind seemed to wait for Daniel's answer. His heart beat faster. Images flashed in his mind. His empty ship, his lost crew, his own loneliness. Then the baby's eyes, shining with trust. Daniel's voice came slow, almost unwilling. "I will not walk away. I'll protect her. I'll protect you both." The alien mother gasped, relief flooding her face. Her glowing eyes softened with gratitude. "Then you are my husband." Daniel tried to speak, but before words could form, the sound of distant howls broke the air. The predators were not finished. The alien mother shivered. She whispered, "They will return. Stronger." Daniel gripped the shard of metal tighter. He knew this was only the beginning. The fire in his heart burned brighter than his fear. For the first time, he was not just surviving for himself. He was fighting for them. And in that moment, under the strange glowing trees, a new bond was forged between a human and alien mother, and her fragile daughter. But far above, in the dark sky, a shadow moved. Something vast, metallic, watching. Neither Daniel nor the alien mother saw it. The real danger had not yet arrived. The clearing was quiet again, but it was not peace. Daniel knew it was only a pause. The predators were not gone. They were clever hunters. They had tested him, and now they would return stronger. The alien mother sat close to her daughter, her head bowed, her body trembling. The baby was quiet now, but her eyes still glowed faint blue in the cradle. The soft light painted her mother's face, showing lines of exhaustion and fear. Daniel walked around the edge of the clearing, his shard of metal still in hand. His body ached, but his mind stayed sharp. He could feel it, eyes watching from the darkness. He whispered to himself, "They're waiting. They want me tired. They want her weak." The alien mother looked up. Her voice was soft, broken, but clear. "You feel them too," Daniel nodded. "They're hunters. They'll try again." She closed her eyes. "They never stop. They smell weakness. I cannot fight them. I cannot even hold her." Her empty shoulders moved as if in shame. Daniel wanted to speak, to tell her she was not weak. But before he could, the sound came. Low, crawling growls echoing from three sides. The trees shook. The sand trembled. The predators had returned. Daniel tightened his grip on the shard. His mind raced. He had no gun, no armor. Just wreckage. His will and his fear turned into fire. He scanned the ground quickly. Broken metal plates, twisted wires, sharp glass. Maybe these could help. The red eyes appeared again. More this time. At least 6. They stepped forward, long bodies low to the ground, tails whipping. Their teeth gleamed, wet and sharp. The alien mother pulled the cradle tighter against her chest. She whispered, "If I fall, promise me. You take her." Daniel's throat tightened. He wanted to argue, but there was no time. The predators moved in. The first beast leapt. Daniel swung the shard upward, slicing across its neck. The creature screamed and fell, thrashing. But the others did not stop. 2 rushed from the left, claws flashing. Daniel ducked, rolled, and grabbed a metal plate from the ground. He raised it just in time. The claws scraped across it with a scream of sparks. Pain shot through his arm, but he pushed forward, ramming the plate into the predator's snout. The beast reeled back, blood spilling from its mouth. The second lunged at his side. Daniel turned too slow. He felt claws rake across his ribs. He cried out, the pain sharp and deep. But he stayed on his feet. He had to. Behind him, the baby began to cry again. The sound cut through the chaos, high and pure. The predators snarled louder, drawn to it like sharks to blood. Daniel's eyes widened. They weren't hunting him. They wanted the child. Rage burned inside him. He charged at the nearest beast, swinging the shard with all his strength. The blade cut deep into its side. It collapsed with a howl, but more moved in. Their red eyes glowed brighter, their bodies circling faster. The alien mother shouted, her voice trembling. "They will not stop. Human think. You cannot fight all." Daniel's breath came heavy, sweat dripping down his face. She was right. He couldn't fight them all hand to hand. He needed something more. His eyes darted to the wreckage nearby. Broken fuel cells, sharp wiring, glass. He had an idea. Keep her quiet. He shouted, rushing toward the wreck. The predators followed, sensing his movement. Daniel grabbed 2 pieces of twisted metal and jammed them into the fuel cell. Sparks hissed. The smell of burning gas filled the air. He dragged the heavy cell into the clearing and shouted at the beasts, "Come on! You want me? Take me!" The predators roared and lunged together, a wall of claws and teeth. Daniel kicked the fuel cell forward, sparks spraying. The cell exploded in a burst of fire and smoke. The clearing lit up like a sun. Heat slammed into Daniel, knocking him back. Predators shrieked, their bodies thrown by the blast. Some burned, rolling in the sand. Others fled into the trees, howling. Silence returned, broken only by crackling flames. Daniel lay on the ground, gasping, his body shaking. His clothes were torn, blood soaking his side, but he was alive. Slowly he pushed himself up. The alien mother was watching him, her eyes wide with shock and something else. Respect. The baby was quiet now, staring at him with glowing eyes. Daniel staggered toward them. His voice was weak but steady. "They'll be back. But we bought time." The alien mother lowered her head, her voice soft. "You fight like true guardian, maybe. Maybe you are more than human." Daniel shook his head. "I'm just trying to survive." But in his heart, he knew it was more. He was no longer fighting only for himself. He was fighting for them, for the helpless mother and for the tiny life she carried. Above the flames, the sky rumbled. Daniel looked up. For a moment he thought it was thunder. But the stars shifted. A shadow moved across the heavens, a ship. Huge, silent, watching. Daniel's chest tightened. Were they allies, enemies, or something worse? The predators were not the only danger on this planet. The real threat was still coming. The fire from the broken fuel cell still burned faintly, sending black smoke into the sky. Daniel sat on the sand, his body heavy, his wounds stinging with every breath. He pressed a strip of torn cloth against his side, trying to slow the bleeding. The alien mother watched him in silence. Her large, glowing eyes never blinked. She sat with her baby pressed close to her chest, rocking gently. The child's small blue eyes stared at Daniel, curious, innocent, unafraid. Daniel broke the silence first. His voice was tired, rough. "They'll come again. I don't know when, but they will," the alien mother nodded slowly. "They never stop, but you stopped them tonight." Daniel let out a dry laugh. "Barely. I don't even know how long I can keep this up." She tilted her head, studying him as if trying to see beyond his words. Then she spoke softly, carefully. "You bleed, yet you do not leave. Why?" Daniel looked at her, then at the child. He wanted to lie, to say he had no choice. But something inside pushed him to speak the truth. "Because she deserves a chance, and you deserve help." For the first time, the alien mother's lips curved into something close to a smile. It was faint, fragile, but real. She whispered, "My people called this bond. Not blood, not same flesh, but choice. You choose to stand. That makes you family." Daniel felt her words sink into him. Family. He hadn't heard that word in years without pain. His own family was far away, maybe lost forever. But now this strange woman with no arms and a crying baby was calling him something he thought he would never be again. Family. He leaned back, staring at the glowing leaves above. "Family, huh? I guess I'll have to learn what that means for you." The alien mother lowered her gaze. "For my people, husband means shield. Wife means root. Together they make tree, and tree makes fruit." She looked at her baby. "She is fruit. Without you, tree dies." Daniel's throat tightened. He had never thought of it that way. He wasn't her mate in the human sense. He was her shield, her strength, the arms she did not have. He asked quietly, "What's her name?" The mother's eyes softened. "Lyra." Daniel repeated it slowly, carefully. "Lyra." The name felt strange and beautiful on his tongue. The baby blinked and let out a small laugh, as if she recognized her name in his voice. The sound made Daniel smile for the first time since the crash. For a while, they sat together in silence. The danger around them felt distant, at least for this short moment. The stars above glimmered and the fire's smoke curled into the sky. But Daniel's mind was restless. He looked up again, remembering the shadow he had seen earlier. The ship, it hadn't been his imagination. Something was watching them. "Your people?" Daniel asked suddenly. "Are there more of you? Others alive?" The mother's smile faded. She shook her head slowly. "No, my people gone, hunted, burned, I'm last. Lyra is last child. Only we remain." The weight of her words hit him hard. A whole people gone, only a mother and her baby left. And him, a stranded human caught in the middle of their tragedy. Daniel whispered almost to himself. "Then if you fall, everything falls." The alien mother lowered her head, her voice filled with sorrow. "That is why I beg you. Be my shield. Be her future." Daniel felt something shift deep inside him. He wasn't just a survivor anymore. He wasn't just a man lost on a strange world. He had been chosen not by fate but by desperation, and maybe by something greater. He touched his side, wincing at the pain. Then he stood, slowly but firmly. "All right. I'll be your shield. I'll fight, but you have to teach me too. Teach me about this world. Teach me about you." The alien mother lifted her head. Her glowing eyes shone with new light. "Then we share bond. I will teach. You will fight together. Tree will stand." The baby laughed again, her tiny hands reaching toward Daniel. He knelt down, and for the first time let her fingers curl around his own. Her grip was weak, but it felt like iron on his heart. In that moment, Daniel knew he had made a promise he could not break. But far away, deep in the forest, red eyes watched. The predators were not gone. They had only pulled back to gather strength. Their hunger was greater now, sharper, more desperate, and high above, the shadow in the sky moved again. The massive ship hovered in silence, its lights flickering faintly. Whoever controlled it had seen everything. The bond had been made, and the bond would soon be tested. The night stretched on, heavy with silence. Daniel sat near the fading fire, his shard of metal lying across his knees. The alien mother rested a few steps away, her baby Lyra curled against her chest. The child had finally fallen asleep, her soft breathing mixing with the whisper of the wind. Daniel stared at the stars. They were brighter here than on Earth. He traced their patterns, but none looked familiar. He felt small, lost, and yet not alone anymore. His thoughts returned to the shadow he had seen earlier, the giant ship drifting silently in the sky. Who were they?
What did they want?
He hadn't spoken of it to the alien mother yet. Maybe she already knew. He looked over at her. "Tell me something," he said. "You speak my language. How? We've never met before. How do you know about humans?" The alien mother lifted her head. Her glowing eyes reflected the firelight. She was quiet for a long moment before answering. "Because once long ago our people met yours." Daniel's heart skipped. "What do you mean? Humans on your world?" She nodded slowly.
Yes, my ancestors.
They called humans friends. Long before war came, war. Daniel leaned closer. Her voice grew softer, heavy with memory. "Predators you see now. They were not always here. Long ago another people brought them. Enemies of my kind. They wanted our secrets. Our gift," Daniel frowned. "What gift?" The alien mother looked down at her daughter. Her voice trembled but carried a strange pride. "Life my people could heal. We could mend wounds, even sickness. Our children were born with light inside. We shared this gift. We even shared it with humans once. That is why I know your words," Daniel's breath caught. "Healing? A power to cure sickness?" If that was true, her people weren't just another alien race, they were a miracle. But she continued, her eyes darkening. "The enemies feared us. They sent the predators. They sent fire. They burned our cities. They hunted us until only I remained, me and Lyra." Daniel sat in silence, the weight of her story pressing against his chest. He thought of Earth, of hospitals, wars, lives lost every day. If her people truly had such power, humanity had lost something beyond value. He whispered, "So your daughter, she has this gift too?" The alien mother nodded slowly. "Yes, her light is strong. Stronger than mine ever was. That is why they hunt her. If they eat her, they take her gift. If they kill her, they end it forever." Daniel's hands tightened on the shard of metal. He felt anger burn inside him. "So that's why they're after her. That's why they won't stop." She looked at him, her eyes full of sorrow. "Yes, and that is why I chose you, human. You stood against them. You did not run. You are her shield now. You must be." Daniel exhaled slowly. His mind swirled with questions. If humans and her people once knew each other, why had no one on Earth remembered? Had history buried the truth, or had someone hidden it? Before he could ask, the baby stirred. Lyra's tiny fingers reached out, brushing the air again. Daniel moved closer, letting her grip his finger. The small touch sent warmth through him, stronger than before. He wondered, was this her gift too? A light not only of healing but of hope? For the first time, Daniel realized something terrifying. If word ever reached Earth about Lyra, his own people might come hunting too. Governments, armies, greedy men who would do anything for such power. Maybe humanity was not ready for her gift. His thoughts were broken by a sudden sound, a deep, vibrating hum from above. Daniel's head snapped up. The sky shimmered. The massive shadow moved again. The alien mother saw it too. Her eyes widened with fear. "No, not them." Daniel's chest tightened. Who is it?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "The ones who betrayed us. The ones who brought predators. They return." The hum grew louder. A beam of light shot down from the hovering ship, sweeping across the forest like a searchlight. Trees glowed silver under its glare. The beam moved closer to the clearing. Daniel grabbed the alien mother's shoulder. "We have to move, now." She shook her head, panic in her voice. "No, they will smell us if we run." "They see movement. We must hide." Daniel scanned the wreckage, his eyes locked on a hollow beneath the broken ship, half covered with sand and debris. It wasn't much, but it might shield them from the beam. "Come on," he whispered harshly. He helped her crawl to the hiding place, guiding her carefully with Lyra pressed tight against her chest. Daniel covered the opening with burnt branches and scraps of metal. The hum of the ship grew deafening. Inside the darkness, they huddled together. Daniel held his breath, his heart pounding. The light swept over the clearing, burning bright through cracks in the branches. Shadows shifted across their faces. The alien mother whispered so softly he barely heard her. "If they find us, they will not kill. They will take her, and we will never see her again." Daniel's jaw tightened. He placed a hand over the cradle over the tiny child. "Then they'll have to go through me first." The beam of light stopped. For one long, terrifying moment, it hung over their hiding place. The air vibrated. Daniel thought his heart would tear out of his chest. Then the beam shifted away. The hum began to fade. The ship moved slowly across the horizon, disappearing behind the clouds. Silence returned. But it was not peace. Daniel knew now. The predators were only the first danger. The real enemy was above, waiting, watching, hunting, and they would not give up until they had the child. The forest was restless. The glowing leaves shook as if the world itself feared what was coming. Daniel crouched near the wreck, gripping a sharpened metal rod he had shaped into a spear. His side still ached from wounds, but his eyes burned with determination. The alien mother sat close by. Lyra pressed tight against her chest. The baby was quiet, as if sensing the storm before it came. The mother's glowing eyes met Daniel's. "They return soon," she whispered. "I feel them in the ground." Daniel nodded grimly. "Then we'll be ready." He had spent the last hours building crude traps from the wreckage. Pits covered with sharp glass, tripwires made from cables, spikes hidden beneath leaves. It wasn't much, but it was all he had. He knew the predators would come in force now. They had tasted his defiance and would want to end it. But he also knew they were not the only danger. The ship above was still watching. The shadow in the sky had not moved far. Maybe the predators were not acting alone. Maybe they were being driven. A low growl broke the silence. Red eyes flickered in the trees. Then another pair. And another. 10, maybe more. The pack had gathered. Daniel gripped the spear tighter. His heart hammered in his chest, but his voice was steady. "Stay behind me. Don't move until I say," the alien mother whispered back, her voice trembling. "If you fall, I run." "I take her." Daniel gave a small nod. "If I fall, then you run far and never stop." The predators stepped into the clearing. Their bodies shimmered with hunger, muscles rippling under black scales. Their claws dug into the sand, ready to tear. Their leader, taller than the rest, hissed loud enough to shake the trees. The baby stirred, letting out a soft cry. The sound was like blood and water. The predators roared and charged. Daniel shouted, his voice filled with fire. "Come on." The first beast fell into a hidden pit, its body torn by jagged glass. Another tripped on a wire, crashing into spikes that pierced its chest. Screams filled the night, but the others rushed forward undeterred. Daniel met them head-on. His spear struck deep into one's throat. He pulled it free and swung again, cutting across another's face. Claws ripped at his arm, but he pushed through the pain, striking with everything he had. The alien mother cried out, clutching Lyra tight. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever, as if her fear was turning into light. She whispered something in her own language, a prayer Daniel did not understand. The predators circled him. He killed another, but more closed in. One clawed across his back. He staggered, blood dripping down his side. His breath came ragged, his vision blurred, but he refused to fall. The leader lunged. Daniel barely raised his spear in time. The beast's weight slammed into him, knocking him to the ground. Its jaws snapped inches from his throat. Daniel pushed with all his strength, the spear holding the beast back. His arms shook. His strength was failing. Then from behind, the alien mother shouted, "Human shield!" Her voice lit a fire in him. With one last burst, Daniel twisted the spear upward, driving it through the leader's chest. The beast roared, thrashed, then fell still. The others froze, uncertain. Without their leader, they hesitated. Then, one by one, they slipped back into the trees, their red eyes fading into the night. Silence returned, broken only by Daniel's gasping breath. He collapsed onto the sand, blood covering his arms and chest. His vision darkened. The alien mother crawled to him, her body trembling. She lowered her head beside him, tears falling. "You stood. You shielded. Your husband true." Daniel tried to smile, but his lips were pale. "Still alive," he whispered. She placed Lyra close to him. The baby's small hand reached out and touched his wound. And then, something impossible happened. Light. A warm glow spread from the child's tiny fingers into Daniel's torn flesh. The pain dulled. The bleeding slowed. The gashes began to close before his eyes. Daniel gasped, staring at her in awe. She healed me, the mother nodded weakly. Her gift, stronger than mine ever was. But before relief could take hold, the air trembled with a deeper sound. The hum Daniel's head snapped up. Above the trees, the massive ship descended lower. Its lights flared, bathing the clearing in harsh white beams. A voice, metallic and cold, thundered from the sky. Surrender the child. The alien mother screamed in defiance, her glowing eyes burning with fury. Never. The ground shook as machines dropped from the ship, tall, armored figures with weapons that glowed like fire. They marched toward the clearing, unstoppable, unfeeling. Daniel pushed himself up, still weak but alive. He grabbed his spear, his voice a growl. They'll take her over my dead body. The alien mother looked at him with sorrow and love. Then we fight together, husband. The baby's glow grew brighter, filling the night with light, and as the machines closed in, Daniel stood beside them, ready for the final stand. The clearing burned white under the ship's searchlights. Shadows of towering machines stretched across the sand. Their metal feet crushed the earth with each step, their weapons humming with deadly power. Daniel stood with his makeshift spear, his body aching, his heart racing. Beside him, the alien mother held Lyra close, her eyes glowing with fire and fear. The baby's light pulsed brighter than ever, spilling out of her cradle, almost alive. The metallic voice echoed again from above. Surrender the child. Resistance means death. Daniel spat blood into the sand and growled. Then death it is. The first machine raised its weapon. A beam of energy shot forward, striking the ground near Daniel's feet. The sand exploded. Daniel staggered, but held his ground. The alien mother cried out, pressing Lyra tighter against her chest. Run, human. You cannot fight them. Daniel shook his head. No, I won't leave you. I won't leave her. The machines advanced. Daniel charged, his spear flashing. He struck one in the joint, sparks bursting. The machine stumbled, but another swung its metal arm, throwing him across the clearing. He hit the ground hard, gasping for air. The mother screamed, her voice trembling with rage. She stood in front of Daniel, shielding him with her body, even though she had no arms to fight. You will not touch her. The machines surrounded them. One reached forward, claws opening to take the child. Then it happened. Lyra cried out, a sound sharp and clear as a bell. Her eyes blazed with blue fire. Light poured from her small body, flooding the clearing. The machines froze, their metal glowing under her brilliance. Sparks shot from their joints. One by one they collapsed, their systems failing under her power. The giant ship above roared, its engines shaking the sky. The metallic voice, once calm, now shouted with fury. Contain the source. The gift must be ours. Beams of light rained down, burning the ground. Trees shattered, flames spreading. The earth itself seemed to scream. Daniel forced himself to his feet. His voice was raw, but strong. We have to move. Now. The mother nodded. They ran into the forest, branches tearing at their skin. Behind them, fire consumed the clearing. The ship's beams tore holes into the earth, chasing them. Daniel led them through twisting paths, ducking beneath glowing vines, leaping over roots. His body screamed with pain, but he kept going. He could not stop. Not now. Finally, they stumbled into a cave hidden beneath a ridge. The entrance was narrow but wide enough for them to crawl inside. Darkness swallowed them, broken only by the faint glow of Lyra's light. They collapsed against the stone floor, breathless. Daniel pressed his back to the wall, his chest heaving. The mother leaned beside him, her daughter glowing softly in her arms. For a moment there was silence. The sound of the ship faded, searching elsewhere. Daniel wiped sweat from his brow. We bought time. But not much. They won't stop. The mother nodded slowly, her eyes shining with both sorrow and determination. They will never stop. They fear her gift. They want to steal it. But if she survives, if she grows, she will be more than shield. She will be hope. Not only for me, for you, for your world too. Daniel looked at the baby. Her tiny fingers curled around his hand, her glow warm against his skin. For the first time since his crash, he felt something beyond survival. He felt purpose. But then, from the cave's depth, a sound stirred, a low hum. Not from above, this time from below. Daniel tensed, raising his spear. What now? A light appeared deeper in the cave. Not the glow of fire, nor the blaze of weapons. A soft, steady pulse, like the beating of a heart. The mother's eyes widened. She whispered in awe. It cannot be. The sanctuary still lives. Daniel frowned. Sanctuary? The last place of my people, she said, trembling. If it lives, then we are not alone. There may be others. The hum grew stronger. Symbols carved into the stone walls lit up with blue fire, the same glow as Lyra's. The baby cooed, reaching toward the light as if she recognized it. Daniel and the mother exchanged a look. Hope flickered between them. But before they could move, the ground above shook violently. Dust rained down from the cave ceiling. The ship had found them. A deep rumble shook the cave. A metallic voice boomed through hidden speakers in the stone, cold and merciless. You cannot hide. The child belongs to us. Daniel tightened his grip on the spear. His jaw set hard. Not while I'm breathing. The alien mother held Lyra close, her voice a whisper only Daniel could hear. Then this is where our bond is tested. Husband, tonight we fight not for survival, but for tomorrow. The baby's glow grew brighter, filling the cave with light. The ancient symbols blazed alive, the hum turning into a roar. Something vast and hidden began to awaken deep below. Daniel's heart pounded. Whatever was buried here, it was about to rise, and the final battle was only beginning.